how do you become a better freediver? So today we're going to talk about different approaches in freediving. So this stream is not going to be about how to duck dive, how to equalize, how to get streamlined and stuff like that. This is about general principles of freediving and how basically your mindset can stop you from becoming a better freediver or can help you in becoming a better freediver. So let's take a look at this a little closer. So first, I want to talk about the word pushing. Now, pushing, what is that? So I hear so many people talking to me in real life during courses or on the chat in messages. Hey, Gert, I'm not pushing myself. So, or yesterday I pushed myself, and then I'm asking myself, what are you talking about? I mean, pushing. What is this pushing? Because I never understood this. There is no such thing as pushing yourself in freediving. And I will tell you why, because when we talk about vertical diving in water, for the vast majority of divers, the limiting factor is equalization. So let's say if physically you could go to 30 meters, so if equalization was not a problem and you could go to 30 meters and come back up, and that would be like your maximum. If you would go like 31, you would probably not make it, a blackout or something. So let's say 30 would be your absolute maximum. Then, yeah, that would be a push dive, right? But in reality, you don't go there yet because what stops you is your equalization. Me, I'm a 60-meter no-fins diver, a 70-meter in the other disciplines. It is only now that I have mastered my equalization in such a way that equalization is not my limiting factor anymore. So now, indeed, I have to be careful not to progress too fast and see if I come up every time with a clean protocol and that I'm not hypoxic and I certainly not black out. But this is for advanced freedivers. This is for people who have mastered their equalization to an extent that equalization is not a problem anymore. Let's be honest, guys, for most beginners and intermediate freedivers, for the vast majority of you, equalization will always be the factor that stops you. It is just for a small percentage that this is not the case. And we call these people, well, natural equalizers. These are people that need almost no help in equalization, and they exist. We have beginner freedivers that sometimes can even hands-free equalize, and they don't need any explanation, and they just go. Now, these are exceptions. So these people indeed have to be careful not to go too deep, because then they would become hypoxic and probably most likely get in trouble. So these people, as instructors, we know we have to watch out. They're not going too deep. But for the others, for the other 98% of all beginning freedivers, you will not go deeper than you can because your ears will stop you from going deeper. All right. So the idea of pushing it, I never understood that in vertical diving. Also in just static apnea, breath holding, pushing it, I mean, yeah, I can understand the idea of pushing it a bit better in static breath holding, but eventually it is the urge to breathe, it is your contractions that will stop you anyway. So let's say equalization would not be a problem. Let's say contractions in static breath holding would not be a problem, and you would keep on pushing it, then it's still not a good idea, because you have to favorize volume over intensity. So when you're pushing it, you're obviously going for more intensity. You're going for maximum dives. If you ask an advanced freediver, whether that would be me as an instructor or anyone else who has years of experience in freediving, about volume versus intensity, they will all tell you that you learn more by doing a couple of sub-maximal dives instead of doing one maximum dive. So let's get back to static apnea. All you guys are doing maximum attempts, right? You want to know how far you can go. How long can I hold my breath? But if you would do, instead of one maximum attempt, a couple of sub-maximal attempts, then that would yield better results. Also in deep diving, let's say your pushed dive, your maximum dive would be 30 meters. Well, if you do 2 or 3 dives to 23, 25 in that session, then you will learn more than if you would always go for a maximum dive. Does that make sense? So try to step away from this idea of pushing it. It's not helping you any further. Okay, let's move on to the idea of training now. Not training for freediving. This again is something for advanced freedivers. Advanced freedivers, they have structurized training plans. They know exactly what they're going to do in their session. But as a beginner to intermediate freediver, you don't need a training plan. You don't need to know exactly what you're going to do in a session. Just dive, just dive, just do multiple dives and focus on acquiring skills. The skill of duck diving, the skill of relaxing during your breathe up, even the skill of relaxing when you're on the boat on the way to the diving spot, the skill of being streamlined, the skill of mastering your buoyancy. There are so many things that you have to learn in freediving that we could call skills, right? And those are important, and that is what you should focus on, not on training. The problem with the idea of training for freediving is your mindset. It is the way you go into a session. You think you have to structureize your session. You think you have to train and meticulously do stuff in a certain order. And this is only putting more pressure upon you than it's not necessary. Just relax. Just focus on acquiring skills and let go of the idea that you have to train, at least if you're a beginner to intermediate freediver. Same goes with the CO2 tolerance training. So a couple of days ago, I got a question from a subscriber, and I always appreciate it when I get questions, of course. And this was very interesting. So I posted a video with a progressive table going from, I guess it was from 1 minute to 2 minutes. And this person said that after doing this table 2 or 3 times on different days, I already upped my static apnea with at least for 40 seconds, I guess it was. I mean, that is awesome, he said, only after 2 or 3 times. So what is it that is responsible for my progress? Is it my CO2 tolerance that got better, or is it my relaxation? And it's funny because if you think about it, one is not different from the other. It's the same. So when you train for CO2 tolerance, in fact, you don't need this. You don't need to train for CO2 tolerance, because as a beginner to intermediate freediver, you still need to learn all these skills. So while I may post videos on YouTube with the title CO2 tolerance training, best training for CO2 tolerance, I know in the back of my head that this is not about CO2 tolerance. It is about acquiring the skill of relaxation, because as you do certain exercises, you're holding your breath, you're diving, and the more you dive, the more you hold your breath, the more you become better at the skill of relaxation. Now, why am I using this word CO2 tolerance training? Because I know you guys will click on it. It is a word that you guys get, you get attentive for it, like CO2 tolerance training. It is something that everyone thinks is so important and everyone thinks they have to do. So if I want my videos to be seen, then I use these words CO2 tolerance in my title, because I know you will click on it. But please know in the back of your mind that it's in fact not about CO2 tolerance. It's about you learning to relax in a breath hold. So don't go too mad on CO2 tolerance training. You don't need to follow specific tables with specific time intervals. I mean, you can do exercises, of course, there's nothing wrong with this. Just don't do it too much, and don't think that this is the holy grail. These are merely exercises to get you going. When I make a CO2 tolerance training table for you and I post it on YouTube, the goal of this is to make you do something. It is to get you starting. You need some kind of guidance, and therefore a table can be a good thing. But no, that is not exactly about training your CO2 tolerance. It's about you acquiring the skill of relaxation. And you do this by just holding your breath and just diving. So breath holding, CO2 tolerance, or relaxation, I would definitely say it's about relaxation, but you can acquire relaxation through CO2 tolerance training. I hope this makes sense. And then another thing that is very important, I hear this a lot. People put a lot of pressure on themselves, like, okay, I can dive to 10 meters now, but all these other freedivers, they go at least to 30, 40 meters. So I am a nobody. I'm a nobody yet. I can only dive to 10 meters. So in your mind, you're already downsizing yourself. There is no need for this. You are not here to prove anything to anyone. Who cares how deep you dive, whether it's 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters? You are in this sport of freediving to learn something about yourself here. This is a school for life. I mean, it's about making progress. So I see this pressure that people put upon themselves. No one else is putting this pressure upon them. It's only you. It's you telling yourself, I have to do this. I have to dive to 20 meters. I will consider myself as a good freediver if I can do, let's say, 25, no, 30 meters. Let's take 30 meters, and then I will consider myself as a good freediver. Do you have any idea how much pressure this puts upon yourself? It is totally unnecessary and it is counterproductive. Just go with the flow, go with your progression, progress gradually, and give yourself time, and stop trying to prove something to yourself, because that's not what freediving is about. Freediving is a sport, it's an art, and most of all, it is a perfect medium to learn about yourself. So that should be your mindset to become a better freediver. Learn about yourself. And then we come to expectations, of course. So the less expectations you set for yourself, the better. So this is about goal setting. Now, we are raised in a society where everything is about accomplishing things and being the best and being the first in school and setting goals. Like every business coach will tell you that you have to set goals. Well, I'm not a business coach, but I am a freediving coach, and I can tell you that setting goals is counterproductive in freediving. Why would you set goals? Why would you set expectations? Okay, by the end of this month, I want to dive to 30. So then that's what you go for. And by the end of, oh shit, there's only 6 days left, and I'm at 22. Am I going to make it to 30 by the end of the month? This is ridiculous, guys. This is putting so much pressure on you. Again, it is counterproductive. And all these thoughts, these expectations, these goals that you're setting, they are limiting beliefs. This is limiting behavior. This is behavior that you put upon yourself that is limiting your progress. So stop setting goals and stop setting expectations for yourself. The only thing that truly matters is patience. Freediving needs time. You need time to progress into the sport of freediving. Patience. Be patient with yourself. Be content with who you are as a freediver today. Be content with who you are as a person today, and let go of goals. Think about it. Let's go back to this example. By the end of the month, I want to do 30 meters. Why, for Christ's sake? I mean, what are the reasons or topics that you chose to come to this conclusion that you want to do 30 by the end of the month? It's totally arbitrary. You just chose this number out of nothing. It's not based upon any science. It's just you telling yourself, oh, I want to do 30 by the end of the month. It's counterproductive, guys. Don't do it. So I've come to the end of this presentation. This was very small. I just want you to know that mindset in freediving is very important. So apart from training technique, holding your breath longer, doing CO2 tolerance training, and getting better as a freediver overall in terms of technique and equalization, what is truly very important, especially as a beginner, is getting the right mindset. If you approach freediving with the right mindset, and that would be like accepting who you are now, accepting the situation, who you are in now, and not trying to be someone that you are not yet, then that will yield tremendous results. And this is a lesson for life, you know. This is not just about freediving, this is about anything. If you accept who you are and you do not try to be someone that you are not, then you're happy. Guess what? If you're happy, then you're going to enjoy your dives better and you're going to become a better freediver.